Good afternoon, guys. I'm filming in my room and the window is open and there are people right there, so they're probably thinking, what on earth are you doing? I thought I'd make this video because I've had lots of questions on my channel. I've had lots of interactions on the videos. I'm really thankful for all of the support, all of the questions, all the comments, everything that's been coming through on the videos about the car insurance and the videos about my car. I've done a few on each, in tips for young drivers getting car insurance for the first time. Also, my actual car itself, like I've done shots of it at night, I've done all sorts of things like that. So this is really to talk about how I got the car I did at my age. I'm 20, I'm about to turn 21, I've had the car for about a year now. I've got it for another year, so that gives you a bit of a hint there about how I do these things. Now, I've got loads of friends who seem to have cars that are way out of their league, and some of them you don't really know how they get the money, and some of them are quite open about it. I like to be quite open about it because I don't really see the point in trying to keep it from people, trying to be better than everyone else. I'm not about that at all. So this really is just to show you about, you know, how I obtained the car I have. So if you don't know or you haven't seen any of my other videos, when I was 19 last year, I got myself a new 16 plate Volkswagen Golf GTD. The list price for my specific car was around about £29,000–30,000, something like that. The reason I got the Golf is because I wanted something that was fairly fast, fairly economical, and just all round reasonable looking car. And I think the Golf GTD, the performance Golfs, the GTI, the R, the GTE, etc. I think they really fall into that category. Like, they're great all-rounders, especially the Golf. The Golf is known for being a great all-rounder, and the GTR is just a bit too much on fuel for me, so I went for the GTD. In terms of insurance, that particular car is really good as well. Obviously, being young, my insurance is quite high. I've talked about this in my insurance videos, but my insurance on the Golf was about £1,200 last year, and it's going to go down a bit this year as well. And that's mainly because of the fact that it's in quite a low insurance group. It's got a radar crash protection system on the front of it, so it's very difficult to crash it basically around town. You know, if something emergency stops in front of you, if you don't react quick enough, the car will be bang on the brakes like that. So my car personally, I did not buy the car, right? I work quite a lot. I don't work technically full-time hours, I do shift work, but I'm a retail manager. I work quite a lot during the week, and I do work very hard. I haven't had anything handed to me whatsoever. I'm lucky enough at the moment that I live rent-free because I'm still living with one of my grandparents. She gets a tenant's allowance for me living here, etc, etc, so she doesn't charge me any rent. And the reason I'm in this situation is because I had the choice to either move down away from this area with my mum and her partner, or stay here. And I wanted to stay here just because of the fact all my friends, family, school was here, everything. So I didn't really want to move down there with her, so I ended up coming here. And that's worked great in my favour, and I know I'm not going to be able to live here forever. So obviously there is a saving element there. I need to start saving up to get my own place, etc, etc. But you know, living rent-free, I'm lucky for the moment that I'm able to afford the car that I do. Maybe I'll have to cut back in the future. Maybe I'll just have to carry on setting some money aside every month and being able to do it that way. I don't really have many outgoings, so that's why I'm able to afford the car that I have. So let's talk money, let's talk figures, like straight up, let's talk figures. So the car itself, I managed to scout around and get a deal on it, a lease deal. I wanted to lease just because I wanted a new car. I didn't want to pay an astronomical amount for it. I didn't want to mess about MOT, servicing, anything. Just get the car, go. That's exactly what I wanted. So that's how I did it. So I managed to scour around. There's a few comparison sites. There's a few good lease comparison sites. If you want me to do a separate video on leasing tips, a bit like I did with my insurance, then please do leave a comment about that and I'll get around to it. I scoured for ages and ages and ages looking at all these different lease deals and everything, and I stumbled across the contract that I have today. The contract that I have today is, I get about 5,000–6,000 miles a year, which isn't really enough, but the excess mileage charge isn't much at all. I paid zero deposit on my car. Very, very lucky. I got it through Central Leasing UK, Central Vehicle UK, sorry, and it's financed through Volkswagen Financial Services. I got it on a 2-year contract, so I give it back at the end of the 2 years. So, you know, some people think of it as dead money, but the way I look at it is I'm not paid much at all. So I'm paying £256 a month for the GTD, and that was with zero deposit. I was very lucky to get one with zero deposit because a lot of these have big sort of £1,000, £2,000, £3,000 deposits on the start. But I went zero deposit, £256 a month, and all I've got to do is fuel it. I don't need any maintenance because the first service is due after 2 years, which is after I give it back. I don't need any MOT because that's due after 3 years, which is after I give it back. So I don't have any problems when it comes to that at all. I just pay the rental, and then it goes back, and then I get a new car. So that's how I do it. You know, £30,000 car, and I'm leasing it for £250 a month, no deposit, no messing around, and that's how I have the car I have. Simple as that. There's no magic answer. I just work hard. I have enough money that I can set aside that £250 a month to pay for the car, rather than finance. I mean, I could have financed another car. That's what I did with my previous car, the Astra. But I just wanted to go for a lease this time, because you get a new car, much more value for money, as long as you don't mind the fact that you're not really getting anything in return. But that's pretty much all there is to it. I have the car for another year, I'll give it back, and then, I mean, leasing has its issues, obviously. The finance and lease, they both have pros and cons. Again, something I'll cover in a different video, but the contract I've got is good because it's 2 years. I can change the car pretty much, you know, near after I've got the first one. So I've only got a year left on this now, and then I'll give it back and get something new, which will be exciting, and it'll be interesting to see what I go for next. So I'll pay £250 a month, and that is it. So the actual full term, the 24 months I'm paying that amount of money, sort of works out £5,000-6,000 or whatever. And when you look at a GTD that's 2 years old with, say, 10,000-15,000 miles on, the depreciation is around 7,000 to 8,000. So if I bought one new, it would have actually depreciated more than what I'm paying on the lease anyway. So to me, it doesn't really strike as a big deal. People say, oh, why didn't you buy? Because depreciation, especially in the UK, is awful. Like, you don't want to buy a new car off the forecourt. Buy a car when it's got a few thousand miles on if you're going to buy, because the depreciation, as soon as you leave the dealer, bang, there goes your money. So it's worth buying ever so slightly used, or ex-demo, or whatever you want to do. For me, at this point in time, leasing was the way forward. As I say, I'm lucky that I'm living rent-free at the moment, and I'm lucky that I work hard enough. I've got a job that I can support my desire to have a car such as what I have. You know, I know people who are, you know, have much better jobs than me, potentially have a YouTube career or whatever, who have much nicer cars, but it's all about figuring out what you can afford, figuring out, you know, spend your money where you spend your time, figure out what makes you happy, what you want to do, and once you've got that balance, you're away. So that is pretty much all there is to it. I just wanted to give you this quick insight into how I afford my car at the age I am. So let's just do a little breakdown of the figures again, just a summary. So no deposit on my car, but you're looking at maybe a few grand most of the time, £250 a month, and I pay £1,200 a year on insurance. Done. And that's it. So I can afford that because I work, and that's all there is to it. You know, people say, oh, you know, all of this, it must be daddy's money, all this sort of thing. Not at all. I don't really like taking handouts. You know, not that my parents wouldn't help me along, but I've always had to work for what I have, and any money that you come into on the way, think of it as a bonus. But just keep at what you're doing. Find a good balance between happiness, wealth, everything. Money isn't everything. Cars aren't everything. But work hard for it and you'll get it. And that's me getting a text in the middle of a video. Professional. So that's pretty much it, guys. I don't know what else to say. Just do what you love to do. If you want a nice car, go out. It's within reach. I plan to keep going up and up and up until I get potentially dream car. It takes time, but if it's something you want, if it's something that you're passionate about, then anything's possible. So with that said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.